Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. Søren Kierkegaard. You hesitate, not because you're weak, but because you know, deep down, that this moment matters. That this choice you're avoiding isn't small, it's everything. There's a quiet weight in indecision, a subtle pull between two futures. One safe, predictable, dead. The other, unknown, terrifying, but alive. And that's where fear lives. Not in the dark, but in the light we're too afraid to walk into. Because freedom, true freedom, doesn't come with a map. It comes with dizziness. And Søren Kierkegaard said it best. Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. The fear you carry isn't about failure. It's about the power of becoming something more. And the truth is, most people never become anything at all. They drift, numb, distracted, busy, until they no longer feel the weight of not choosing, until that weight becomes normal. But you're not here for normal. You're here because something inside you is still awake, still restless, still wondering what could be if you stopped hiding. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you stood still long enough to listen? Not to others, not to noise, but to that one voice inside. The one that whispers, "There's more." And maybe you've been told to be realistic, to settle, to wait, to fit in. But what if those lies are the very cage? What if the pain you're feeling is the cost of ignoring your calling? Listen, you've been postponing the decision for too long. You know what I mean. That one decision. The one you've buried under distractions, plans, and excuses. But it waits. It always waits. Because deep truths don't disappear. They echo. And your fear? It's not here to punish you. It's here to awaken you. Let it. Let it push you to ask, what am I really afraid of? Failure? Or the responsibility of freedom? There's a cost to both. Failure hurts, but stagnation, it decays. And if you stay where you are, pretending the pull inside you isn't real, you're choosing decay over destiny. You weren't made to repeat days. You were made to create them. That begins the moment you stop running from the tension, because freedom isn't the absence of fear. It's the courage to walk through it. And here's the question you need to face. Will you let this fear define your future? Or will you finally choose the path that calls your name? You don't have to have all the answers, but you do have to decide. And maybe you're feeling it now. That tightness in your chest. That ache behind your ribs. The quiet knowing that something inside needs to shift. Let it move you. Let it challenge you. Let it burn down the illusions you've used to keep safe. Because safety isn't the goal. Growth is. And every time you step toward what scares you, you get closer to who you were meant to be. Don't numb it. Don't wait. Your life isn't going to unlock itself. You are the key. So now I turn to you. What choice have you been avoiding? Share it in the comments. Not for me, for you. Say it out loud, let it breathe. Give it a name. Because until you do, it owns you. But once you do, you reclaim it. And if this message hits something in you, don't scroll away. Subscribe. Stay in this space. This channel isn't about comfort, it's about calling. And you're here for a reason. Now, shall we continue? So, let's sit in that space. The one you avoid. The stillness before a decision. The breath before the leap. The truth is, fear is never just fear. It's a mirror. A mirror reflecting the parts of you that are still unfinished. Still unsure. Still doubting your right to be powerful. And if you felt stuck, paralyzed, or endlessly spinning in circles, it's not because you're lost. It's because you're being invited to grow beyond who you've been. Anxiety doesn't mean something's wrong. It often means something's waking up. You've outgrown a version of yourself. And now, you either step forward into discomfort or backward into safety. But here's the cost of going backward. You start betraying your own potential. You start shrinking to fit spaces you've already outlived. You tolerate mediocrity. You excuse your own silence. You numb yourself with distractions that never satisfy. And deep inside, you know. That voice, it doesn't go away. It whispers when you try to sleep. It stirs in quiet moments. It interrupts your distractions with flashes of longing. A longing to feel alive again. A longing to matter. To mean something. To leave behind the small, anxious self. And rise into the weight of your own becoming. But that's where the real fear lives, isn't it? Not in failure, but in becoming. Because once you step into your potential, you can't pretend you're powerless anymore. You can't blame others. You can't hide behind your past. You can't numb your way through life. You have to show up, fully, honestly, vulnerably. And that's terrifying, but it's also the only way forward. Let me ask you, when you think about the person you could become, what do you feel? Excitement? Fear? Guilt? Or all three? That's the tension of transformation. You're not just letting go of the past. You're letting go of who you were when you survived it. And that's not easy, but it's necessary. You are not here to impress people who don't see you. You are not here to maintain roles that are suffocating you. You are not here to live a version of life that others wrote for you. You are here to choose truth over illusion, depth over comfort, freedom over fear. And that choice, it begins now, not someday. Not when you're ready. Not when the anxiety goes away. Now. Because waiting for fear to disappear is like waiting for the ocean to dry up before you learn how to swim. You don't wait for fear to leave. You move with it, through it. You let it sharpen you. You let it reveal what still has power over you. Because only then can you take that power back. This is the path Kierkegaard was pointing toward. Not a path of certainty, but of courage. A path that says, yes, I'm afraid, but I choose to move anyway. You see, the fear of failure, it's a symptom. The root is deeper. It's the fear that you might actually succeed, that you might actually matter, that your life might have weight, responsibility, meaning. And meaning is heavy, but it's worth carrying. So stop asking for easy. Start asking for real. Ask yourself, what do I value more, being safe or being free? Because you can't have both. Freedom will always demand something from you. It'll cost your illusions. It'll challenge your ego. It'll burn down everything that's fake. But in its ashes, you'll find something fierce and true. You. And that's who the world needs. Not another version of who you think you should be, but the raw, real version of who you actually are. Beneath the masks, the fear, the pressure. So breathe. Let the fear come. Feel it fully. Then choose. Because you don't get clarity before the decision. You get clarity because of it. Still with me? Then let's keep going deeper. You weren't born to tiptoe around your potential. You weren't meant to navigate life like a tightrope walker. Afraid to fall, afraid to rise, afraid to be seen. You were meant to stand, unshaken, in the tension between fear and freedom. That's where your soul expands. But no one tells you how disorienting that expansion is. No one prepares you for the grief that comes when you realize you've outgrown the life you once begged for. That the comfort you clung to is now a cage. That the story you told yourself no longer fits the truth trying to emerge through you. And in that moment, you feel lost. Like nothing is certain. Like everything is shifting. Like the ground beneath your feet has vanished. But this isn't the end. This is the threshold. The place where your old self ends and your true self begins. And what lives here isn't clarity. It's choice. The choice to stop negotiating with your fear. The choice to stop settling for potential energy. The choice to stop putting your power on layaway. You don't need more time. You need more truth. And here it is. No path is free of fear. Not the one where you shrink. Not the one where you rise. Fear is part of the package, but only one of those paths leads to life. The other? It slowly robs you of yourself. So ask yourself, is the life you're living one you chose or one you tolerated? Are your habits helping you remember who you are, or helping you forget? Be honest. Radically honest. Because honesty is the beginning of freedom. And freedom isn't a destination. It's a discipline. It's showing up for the hard conversations. It's taking the risk that might not work out. It's feeling the fear and refusing to run. It's choosing meaning over numbness, growth over stagnation, love over self-sabotage. And if your heart is pounding right now, if your chest feels tight, if something inside you is waking up, good. That means you're alive. It means something's shifting. It means the version of you that's been hiding is finally ready to emerge. So listen closely. You don't need to be fearless. You need to be faithful to what you know deep down. That you were made for more than survival, more than pretending, more than delay. You were made to choose with trembling hands and a full heart, to choose presence, to choose courage, to choose the narrow path not because it's easy, but because it's real. And the real you? They're waiting on the other side of that choice. Not the version you perform, not the one you've edited for approval, the one who knows what matters, the one who's been whispering all along, let me out. Let me out of this shell, this shame, this smallness. Let me become what I was born to be. But here's the thing. No one can choose it for you. Not your parents, not your partner, not your past. Only you. So pause, right here, right now, and look at your life. Not through the lens of guilt or regret, but through the lens of possibility. What's one thing you know you need to do? One truth you've been avoiding? One risk you're ready to take? Don't overthink it. Just feel it. Feel the yes in your body, the ache in your soul. That's your path. And yes, it's scary. Yes, you'll fail sometimes. Yes, people might not understand. But that's not your job. Your job is to say yes to what's real. Even if your voice shakes, even if your hands tremble, even if you're not ready, because ready is a lie fear tells to keep you still. You don't need to be ready. You need to be real. So start. Take the next breath like it's your first. Step forward like the ground will meet you. And trust, even your fear can become sacred when you walk through it with open eyes. The real breakthrough doesn't come with noise. It comes in silence. In the quiet realization that your life is waiting on your permission. Not perfection, not applause. Just permission to begin again. To write a new chapter, even if the last one ended in disappointment. To rise, even if you've fallen more times than you can count. To be seen, even if the world told you to hide. That's the path Kierkegaard points us to. The one that doesn't deny fear, but doesn't bow to it either. Because fear is a mirror. It reflects back your potential in disguise. It reveals what matters most, by threatening it. So if you're afraid of failing, it's probably because success means something deep to you. If you're afraid of being rejected, it's probably because connection is sacred to you. If you're afraid to be seen, it's probably because your truth is powerful. So don't run from the fear. Run into it. Let it speak. Let it unravel you. Because in that unraveling, there's rebirth. There's a version of you that's only born through fire, through doubt, through the disorientation of real transformation. This isn't motivational fluff. This is a wake-up call. Because your life is not a rehearsal. You don't get to redo today. You don't get to keep waiting for the right moment while your soul withers in the meantime. You came here to live, to choose, to trust, to feel everything and still say, I'm not done. You're not too late. You're not too broken. You're not too far gone. That's the lie your fear tells when it senses you're getting stronger. But look at you now, still here, still searching, still hungry for something real. That hunger is holy. Don't ignore it. Let it guide you. Let it pull you out of your numb routines and dead-end patterns. Let it strip away every excuse you've used to play small, because the longer you wait, the more painful it becomes. And deep down, you already know what you need to do. Maybe it's a conversation you've avoided. Maybe it's a risk you keep postponing. Maybe it's time to walk away from what's killing your light. Whatever it is, it's not going away. Not until you face it. And you can. You're stronger than the storm you fear. But strength doesn't always look like force. Sometimes it looks like surrender. Sometimes it's allowing the wave to crash through you instead of bracing against it. Sometimes it's saying, I'm scared, and I'm still going. That's not weakness, that's courage, and that courage becomes a compass that doesn't point you to comfort, but to meaning, to wholeness, to truth. The life you crave isn't on the other side of ease. It's on the other side of choosing with your whole heart. Not halfway, not when it's convenient, but now. You have to become unapologetically committed to your truth, to your becoming, to walking that one path, the narrow one, the real one, the one that demands everything, but gives you everything that matters in return. And maybe you're thinking right now, but what if I fail? You will. That's part of it. But failure doesn't define you. Avoiding yourself does. Don't let fear rob you of your future. And don't let comfort seduce you into compromise. You were born for more than this. You feel it, don't you? That ache behind your eyes, that burn in your chest, that voice that refuses to be silenced. It's your real life calling you. It's your soul remembering who you are. And you're closer than you think. Closer to clarity, closer to peace, closer to finally becoming who you were always meant to be. But you must choose. Again, and again, and again. Because freedom doesn't happen in one grand gesture. It happens in the quiet, sacred choices you make when no one's watching. The choices that whisper, I'm done hiding. I'm ready. I'm coming home to myself. And if you've made it this far, if something in you is still listening, then that means your real journey is just beginning. There's something sacred about beginnings, not the flashy kind, but the quiet, trembling ones, the ones born out of exhaustion, of disappointment, of a silent scream inside your chest that finally says, no more. That's where true freedom starts, where Kierkegaard's words come alive. Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. Not the fear of falling, but the terror of choosing, of knowing that you can no longer pretend you don't know, that you can no longer live halfway. Freedom demands responsibility. It demands that you show up, not just when it's easy, but when everything in you wants to disappear. And yet, you're still here, breathing, watching, listening, feeling the weight of this moment settle on your shoulders. That weight isn't there to crush you. It's there to crown you. Because when you say yes to the path, you say yes to everything that shaped you. To your doubts, your shadows, your failures. They're not your enemies. They're your initiation. Into courage, into wholeness, into the version of you that refuses to numb, run, or hide anymore. So, I want to ask you something. Right now. What is the fear you've been avoiding? The one that keeps you stuck? Keeps you small, keeps you endlessly scrolling, waiting for the feeling to pass. Name it, write it in the comments, give it a shape, a face, because once you do, it begins to lose its grip. You're not alone in this. There are others watching this video right now, feeling the same ache, the same fear, the same hunger to rise. And that's the beauty of this space. We grow together. So tell me, what truth are you ready to stop avoiding? What path are you finally willing to take? Your words might help someone else find theirs. And if this message stirred something in you, if even one sentence hit you in the chest like a truth you didn't know you needed, then don't leave without subscribing. This channel is for you, for the brave, for the broken, for the ones ready to face what's been buried for too long. Each week we dive deeper. Into the soul, into the stories that shape us, into the thinkers who saw further than most. Jung, Nietzsche, Frankl, Maslow, and now Kierkegaard. All of them pointing to one thing. You are not meant to stay where you are. You are meant to become. So let this be your beginning. Not tomorrow, not next month. Now. Choose the path. Step through the fear. And finally, become the one you were always meant to be.